Hello everyone and welcome back to the Real Positive Girl podcast. My name is Sabrina and happy Wednesday. I hope that everyone is having a fantastic day. If your day has just started, good morning, hello. I hope that everything is going well. And if your day is already begun, you're in the middle of it, you're towards the end, I hope it was fantastic. Again, if you are having a bad day, make sure you find those 5 minutes where you can start over again, come back to baseline, just reboot the whole thing. Take some moments to problem solve how you can make the rest of the day or tomorrow an even better day, and make sure you walk away feeling at least neutral about the rest of the day, if not feeling joyful. You know what really helps me to feel joyful? Finding 5 things that I am grateful about. And I don't know why I say 4, because generally my list when I make them in the morning is 4, but 5 sounds better. But, I would say a minimum of 3. Let's stick with that, okay? A minimum of 3 things that you are grateful for. That will definitely help you to feel humble and feel positive as much as you can, even if you've had a hard, rough day and you can't be overjoyed or super jumping up and down. I get it. Just try to be grateful and know that you are blessed with another day, which many people aren't, and that is amazing. So just remember that. But again, happy Wednesday. Just a reminder that this week we are talking about personal boundaries, which I've already gone off on a tangent twice about how excited I am about this topic. So I'm not going to go off on a tangent about that again. But let's just go ahead and jump right in. Today we're going to be talking about when to say yes. So I just wanted to go over a couple examples of when you, within your personal boundaries, when saying yes is like the best thing ever, which is in contrast to yesterday when I talked about how saying no is the best thing ever. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. When it comes to healthy boundaries, there are so many things you can say yes to. Jumping in with examples from the start, telling others how you want to be treated, especially if they are treating you badly. And I feel this one could have been put in both the yes and the no categories, meaning I could have mentioned it yesterday as well, but it's such an empowering thing. So I thought it would be best suited being in the yes discussion today. And you definitely want to have the courage and the mindset to tell people that they need to treat you a very specific way. And I find this to be a yes thing, because this is something that you are affirming to people, like, hey, I would prefer if you treated me this way. We all deserve a level of respect, and this is the level that I would like, as long as it's not like too overcasting over everything, you know what I mean. But like, if people are treating you badly, you definitely need to set them in your place. That is definitely a yes thing that you should be doing within your personal boundaries. And it's just, and like I said, it's so empowering, and we all need to take it up and just live it to the fullest. Communicating your thoughts and feelings goes right along with this as well. Have the courage and strength to stand up for yourself and tell others how you feel. So if people are coming at you, you need to be able to have the strength and be like, listen, I do not appreciate that. I need you to step off of me. I need you to back up, and do it in a nice and like a polite way, of course, but have the strength to do that, because standing up for yourself is so important. And people think that, no, they don't want confrontation or any sort of conflict, and standing up for yourself is not always worth it, when I think it totally is, because it shows that you have enough respect for yourself and the authority to say something in the nicest way possible, with respect and calmness, without anger and yelling, but to let them know that they are not treating you in the way that you expect them to treat you. And I know that I've said many times that people having expectations over other people is unfair and unnecessary, and not something that people should be living for. But if you are treating someone badly and they're asking you not to, and asking you to treat them a certain way, I feel like that's like the one exception. You should be treating people the way that they ask them to, which is with respect and kindness, and just letting them live their life. Let people live their lives, okay? They might not live their life the same way that you do, and that's fine, because You are not the judge and jury of everyone else. For me, the judge and jury of everyone is God Almighty, and He will do that for us. This is like one thing we can just like brush right off our shoulders and move on with ourselves. So just a little bit about that. See? Tangents. Okay, let's get back on track. Let me look at my notes. Let's get back on track. So yeah, communicate your thoughts and feelings. Stand up for yourself. Allow others to make their own decisions. This harkens back to not feeling responsible for other people's feelings and actions. You are not in charge of them, even if they want you to be. Being in a codependent relationship can cause many heavy burdens. I know that I've mentioned burdens a lot this week already, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's a burden hearing you talk about so many burdens. Yeah, it really is. It's because people will carry burdens for their whole entire lives and not even realize it. They won't even realize it's a burden. And that's why I kind of want to break things down and just shatter the glass and realize this is a burden that you've been carrying. You need to unload it and move on with your life and feel more free. And yeah, allow people to make their own decisions. This goes back to the tangent I was on. Stop judging people for the things that they're doing. Let them do it. You're not responsible for whether they do the right thing or the wrong thing. Isn't that so tough? For the longest time, I always was like, why do I get so mad when other people make the wrong decision in your eyes, but they truly are doing the wrong thing? Like, for an example of something that I've accidentally passed on to my child is anytime that she sees someone jaywalking on the street, she gets upset. Upset the fact that she's yelling through the window. And I'm not saying she's rolling down the window, yelling at strangers, jaywalking across the street, although she has told me honestly that she would like to do that. And I'm like, let's not be rude. But yeah, it's just knowing that people are not following the rules, and I am such a rule-oriented person, I will live out there on the wild side a little bit, but I like rules. It feels very comforting. It feels very just right there within my whole personality, and I know a lot of other people out there are like that, but it's such an uncomfortable thing because you want to be responsible for what they're doing, and you want to quote unquote help them when really you just want to control them and have them do the things that you know that are appropriate. But you got to let people live their lives. You got to let people make their own mistakes. They're going to grow and learn through those mistakes, and they need to do that. And if you are continuously getting in their way and being responsible for everything that they're doing and feeling, then they're never going to learn and grow. Do you see? You're getting in the middle of them learning and growing. And you know that I always say that is one of the most important things, is to ride through those mistakes and grow and learn from them. If you're new here, you don't know that, but I say it all the time. Go backwards and see. Go backwards in all the episodes and see. But yeah, you can't feel responsible for other people's feelings and actions because you're not. Everyone is in charge of their own actions, and those codependent relationships where people are, feeding into depending on each other so much that you guys don't know anything outside of, being dependent on that other person or feeling like you have to carry that other person. Doesn't that just feel so tiring? You need to release yourself from that. You need to unload those burdens and know that there are better things to come. So I feel like this is, I didn't write that many notes for this episode because I feel like there's more to say on the nose and, and other things to come later in the week. But this was the biggest point because I feel like this is one of the toughest things for people to deal with, and a lot of people won't even realize that that's what they're doing. They won't even realize that by trying to protect people, by trying to regulate how they're feeling, trying to make sure that you are the epitome of everything that other person in your life would want, how they've expressed things make them happy, you're making sure you're on top of it, you're doing it, you're doing everything in your power to try to be as perfect as you can for that person and try to hide things and shelter them from things that might hurt them or might upset them or will throw everything that they have planned off course. You need to stop. There's no other way to say it. I'm trying to find the nicest way to say it. You just need to stop. And believe me, I've told myself this many times, and I still tell myself this when I fall into the trap of like, oh, I need to walk on eggshells because my husband's in a bad mood, or I need to make sure that I say this or that, and I do this activity, or, let me like force myself into a sexy mood so that I can please him because he's really upset. Like, no, none of that. Don't do any of those things. Be kind, be caring, be a good listener. Ask them if they need something, and if it's something that you can freely give without compromising who you are and who they are and what they need to be responsible for, then do it. But if it does, you need to find a nice way to be like, I'm sorry, but I think it's something that you need to handle on your own, and that might cause more conflict. Undoubtedly it will, but it's something that you'll have to go through and grow through and learn through and figure out, because you can no longer carry their burdens. It's not healthy. You will lose yourself in that process. You will absolutely lose yourself. Coming from someone that's been through that exact experience, and other people that I know and research that I've done, I'm telling you for sure you will lose yourself if you aren't already gone. And it's so much harder to come back to who you are and figure out who that person is if you're already almost all the way gone, or if you are gone, than if you back out now, if you're just beginning, or you're only dipping a toe, a finger, a foot in, as opposed to like you're almost at the point where you're drowning. And I totally mean that. And feel free to email me. Find me on Instagram if you want more details on that and what to do. But you need to take a step back, evaluate what's happening, ask yourself if you even know who you are, and really think about it. I'm serious. Really, really, really think about it. Are you carrying other people's burdens? Do you know who you are? Do you know what you're about? Think about it. Yeah, that got real serious real quick. Wasn't expecting that. Okay, and so let's get back on track. And yes, be comfortable knowing that not everyone has to agree with you. Nor you with them, and that is fine. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and that is really what helps this world become more diverse. So this one's not as difficult because everyone knows that everyone is supposed to be entitled to their own opinion, despite how people will lash back at people, especially on social media. Those keyboard warriors are behind their screens, and they are, trying to clap back at people because people are sharing their opinions. Like, that is what the internet is about. I don't understand why you're telling people that their opinion is wrong, but then they're like, but you have an opinion, and if I told you you were wrong, what would you say? And you're like, well, I would say that you're wrong. And it's like, no, everyone is entitled to their opinion. That is like what, that's what it's about. And you just need to be comfortable knowing that not everyone's going to agree with you. And that's always really hard for me because I always prided myself in being such good at judgment and research and really knowing the right answer to many things. And then when people disagree with me, I used to get so irritated. I'd be like, listen, I did all the research. I know what I'm talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. You didn't take the hours and hours to read all these articles and websites and books and ask experts. And they're like, no, based on my gut feeling, I know that you're wrong. So it's hard. You got to humble yourself. And if they want to go off on their opinion and tell you yours is wrong, just know that just because they say that doesn't mean it's true. And maybe they are wrong. Maybe without a shadow of a doubt, to a fact, that they're wrong. You don't need to beat them to death with that. Just be like, hey, I think based on this and this is right and that is wrong. And if they still don't believe you, then just leave it to that, because people will learn their lessons. People will find out whether they're right or wrong. And if they don't, then that is the life they're going to lead, and that is not on you. That is on them. Okay? Not on you. That's on them. My last point. Keeping a regular routine is also a yes, as it will help you feel safe and in control of something. Don't let someone get in the way of your routine if it's what really sets you up for a good day. And I absolutely mean this, because I love living my life on routine, and especially during this self-isolation quarantine time, I absolutely miss the routine that I have in it. And even still, after, I don't know, almost 2 months now of being in quarantine, at least where I live in Washington State, it I have not been able to establish a routine. Not a good one, at least. I roll out of bed about like 5 or 10 minutes before I have to walk to my home desk to log onto my computer to start work. At some point in the morning, I might eat breakfast, then a random lunch here or there. I try to drink my gallon of water every day. Sometimes I'll get dressed, sometimes I won't. And there's no established routine. Sometimes I'll work out in the evening. There's been a couple times where I worked out in the morning. Or I won't work out at all. It's just not an established routine. And so for me, it's been really hard. So I've been trying to like kind of slowly build a routine, even if it's just at night, where I will like watch a show and then read a book and then go to sleep, or like some sort of skincare routine, like any sort of routine I am looking forward to. I am trying to figure out. I've kind of created like this routine in my kitchen where I'm really cleaning things before I go to bed because it makes me feel accomplished for the day. So keeping a regular routine will really help you feel safe and in control. And it just goes along with the boundaries that you create for yourself. You're like, no, I need to live within this routine. Of course, you got to give yourself a little bit of flexibility to pop in and out of it a little bit, just, for the sake of life, because life will just throw you things that you won't even expect. But like living within your routine, don't let someone just come in and interrupt your routine because A, they don't like it, B, they don't approve of it, or C, they think that it's crazy that you live by a routine, because I know some people just don't, and that's totally fine. That's totally fine. Everyone is allowed to live their life the way that they choose. So, on that note, that's it. That's all I have to talk about today. And I haven't even hit 20 minutes yet, so that's great for everyone. So thanks again so much for joining me on the Real Positive Girl podcast, and my name is Sabrina. Happy Wednesday. If you really enjoyed this episode, I encourage you to share it with anyone else that may love it too. Please check the description box for all the notes on the show, also where to find me on Instagram, or if you want to send me an email with any comments, questions, concerns, prayer requests, whatever you need. It's right there. So thanks again for joining me today. I hope you come back for another episode within this personal boundaries topic. And until then, have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Bye.